Good morning. It's so good to see all of you here today. I want to show you the calendar because it's getting more and more exciting. You can see that last week was Lent 4. This week, if I move it one, you might be able to see Lent 5, and then we're going to have one more Sunday, Palm Sunday, which will be Lent 6, and then it'll be Easter. Just before we start the recap of our story, let's say a short prayer together. Thank you, God, for this day. Thanks for the story of the faces of Easter and a chance for us to get together and do it. Watch it together. Thank you for your Spirit guiding us. Amen. So, the story is getting longer. Let's do a little recap. At the beginning, Jesus was a baby, and Mother Mary and Father Joseph loved that baby very much. Then that baby grew and grew. He grew until he was 12 years old. That was when they went to Jerusalem and Jesus went missing. His parents found him in the temple with the priests and the rabbis. And Jesus said he was in his father's house. His parents were puzzled. And that the boy is growing and our story is growing. Next we heard about when Jesus got baptized by his cousin, John, who was a wild man. John didn't think he should baptize him, but Jesus said yes. After the baptism in the River Jordan, a dove came close to Jesus' head, and a voice from heaven said, "This is my beloved Son." The story's going to grow. I bet it's growing so long now that you're not seeing the beginning. Last week, we learned about when Jesus was in the desert or the wilderness. He was there to listen to God and to learn what his work was after he had been baptized. That's also where he was tempted by the devil, and he finally learned what his work was. This week we're going to learn what it is. Let me push the story down. Jesus came back across the Jordan River, and his work was to come close to people. Usually people that other people didn't want to get close to. You can see in this picture, he is so close to a blind man that he's touching the blind man's eyes. And when Jesus came close to people, they changed. They could see things that they hadn't saw before. They could do things that they hadn't done before. They became well. The other job that Jesus had was to tell parables. And we learned a couple of those. I know we did the parable of the mustard seed. Oh, we did the parable of the unleavened bread too. Might have done one more. I bet you remember better than me. A parable is like a present, and finally, Jesus knew he had to become a parable or present, and he turned towards Jerusalem. We'll find out next week what happens in Jerusalem. I wonder if there's anything that you connect with for this story. And I guess when I wondered this question, what made this story more real for me was actually my Bible. And you can see it's been taped together and it's got things inside it and lots of things inside it, Sometimes there's words underlined because the Bible is where I can read some of the words of Jesus and where I feel especially close. And I bet you have your own place that you might feel close to Jesus or something else that you connected with this story. Let's find out what happens next week. Thank you for being here.